I managed plastic surgery for 11 years. Your jawbone funded my Mercedes. I watch you walk through the frosted glass doors, clutching your purse, already apologizing for a face that was perfectly fine until our marketing told you it wasn't. You are sitting in a chair that costs more than my car, staring into a mirror with lighting scientifically engineered to highlight every single pore. You tell yourself the tightness in your chest is just excitement, ignoring the air purifier trying to scrub the smell of medical-grade disinfectant out of your expensive hair. You settle into consultation room 3, bracing for the cold sensation of metal calipers pressing against your chin. You convince yourself she is right, that your jaw is slightly asymmetrical if you tilt your head exactly 12 degrees to the left under these fluorescent lights, turning this into a sudden medical emergency. I am watching you genuinely believe a person in a white coat holding a rose gold iPad is a doctor instead of a heavily commissioned salesperson, perfectly anchoring the GDP of the beauty sector to your panic. In my 11 years and over 6,400 finalized contracts, we didn't sell surgeries. We sold shadow elimination. I execute the scripted 45-degree tilt of my head, using a rose gold fountain pen to circle the problem areas on your high-resolution headshot. I once watched a girl spend her inheritance to fix a shadow that only existed because of our $2,000 custom lighting rig. When I use the word harmonize, I am actually identifying which of your natural features is too structurally sound to be profitable. Why did you agree to the additional chin filler during the consultation? Was it option 1, it was 50% off if you did it today? Option 2, the manager said it would balance your forehead? Or option 3, you felt bad saying no after she gave you free tea? 3, 2, 1. You were caught in the contrast trap, where we highlight a flaw you didn't know you had to justify the surgery you actually came for. Tag that friend who thinks mini V-line means a minor procedure. Wait until I tell you why we always keep the recovery rooms slightly too cold. Operating room 2. The specific, hollow, metallic thud of a surgical hammer hitting a chisel vibrates right through the floorboards into my consultant desk 2 floors down. You sit in the prep area convincing yourself it is just bone. It does not grow back, so it is a permanent solution to my temporary sadness. I am watching you trade your literal structural integrity for a decent 2D profile view on Instagram. In my 11 years and 8,000 contracts, I saw a patient celebrate her shaved jawline for exactly 6 months. Then her skin, no longer having a skeletal shelf to sit on, slid down her neck like melting wax. Bone shaving is the ultimate gift that keeps on giving because it meticulously necessitates a major facelift by age 35. What did you honestly think when the manager casually mentioned sagging might occur? Option 1, I will just use expensive lifting creams. Option 2, I will somehow be the one biological exception to gravity. Or option 3, she confidently said a light thread lift would easily fix it. 3, 2, 1. The sagging clause is our absolute favorite because it legally converts a one-time customer into a lifelong, high-ticket subscription model. Forward this to someone considering contouring their actual skeleton. The surgeon isn't the one who decides how much bone to take. The marketing team is. You are in the recovery lounge. The only sound is the crinkle of high-end ice packs. My forehead feels heavy, like I'm wearing a wet helmet, but that just means the silicone is settling perfectly, you tell yourself. Meanwhile, I sit at the front desk, fully aware that thinking a solid foreign object in your skull won't eventually travel south is a biological delusion we actively monetize. Forehead implants are the industry's ticking time bomb. I've seen them migrate so far down that the patient ended up with a very symmetrical unibrow made entirely of medical-grade plastic. We justify these high-risk procedures as bespoke aesthetic engineering because the recurring revenue from fixing the inevitable migration is substantially higher than the initial surgery fee. We simply facilitate a biological landslide that keeps the revision department profitable. What convinced you to get the forehead implant instead of just filler? Option 1, the manager said it was permanent. Option 2, it looked so smooth on the 3D simulation. Or option 3, you wanted that doll-like profile view and filler felt like a cheap way out. 3, 2, 1. You fell for the permanence fallacy, where we sell you a lifetime fix that actually has a strict 5-year expiration date on your anatomy. Send this to the filler-only girl who is being tempted by the permanent upgrade. Did you know the free post-op laser treatment is just to hide the bruising we caused by rushing? Now stepping into the stitch removal room, you wince at the sharp, stinging sensation of tiny metal scissors snipping against the raw inner corner of your eye. You sit perfectly still, telling yourself, if I can just open my eyes 2 millimeters wider, my boss will finally respect my PowerPoint presentations. Meanwhile, I am logging the fact that you paid to have your literal tear ducts exposed. Creating irreversible scar tissue is our ultimate retention strategy. It is the only way to ensure you never go to a competitor for a natural look. Epicanthoplasty is the surgeon's oops surgery. I once watched a top-tier doctor cut way too far into the inner eye. When the patient panicked, he just smiled and told her the resulting permanent staring look was simply excessive charisma. Why did you agree to the inner corner cut? 1. The doctor said your eyes looked stuffy. 2. It was conveniently bundled with the double eyelid surgery. 3. You wanted to look more awake for your Zoom calls. 3, 2, 1. You were upsell blinded, where we convinced you that a standard surgery is incomplete without a high-risk finishing touch. You traded your intact anatomy for a dangerous illusion. Tag your friend who is obsessed with big eye filters. The before photos in our lobby are always taken with the patient's chin down to make the after look better. Now you are at the billing desk. The sharp clink of my luxury watch hitting the tempered glass surface echoes as I hand you the clipboard. You stare at the final number and tell yourself, if I put the jaw on one credit card and the eyes on the other, it's basically like I'm not spending anything at all. Meanwhile, I am calculating my exact commission, watching you casually pretend that a package deal on major surgery is the exact same thing as a package deal on toothpaste. In my 11 years and 8,400 signed contracts, volume-based discounts were never about your budget. They are necessary to maintain the aesthetic velocity of the clinic's Instagram feed. We had an exclusive loyalty tier. In reality, it was essentially just a spreadsheet of people who had been gaslit into believing their face was a construction site that was never quite finished. How did you justify the total cost to your partner? Did you say you won a very specific giveaway? Did you tell them it was strictly medical for your breathing? Or did you just not tell them and wore a lot of masks around the house? 3, 2, 1. You utilize the investment narrative. It is a calculated script we give you so you can sell the scam to yourself and your family. Tag someone who loves a buy two, get one deal a little too much. The celebrity doctor on the billboard usually only does the first incision and then leaves the room. You finally make it to the parking garage. The harsh afternoon sun hits your face post-recovery, illuminating the faint yellow bruising creeping down your neck. You adjust the rearview mirror, staring at the swelling, and negotiate with your own reflection. I look different. Not better, just different. But different must be better because I am broke now. I am watching your car pull out from my second-floor office, entirely satisfied that your pathetic belief that your face was a problem requiring a for-profit solution just covered my quarterly bonus. In my 11 years and over 8,400 finalized surgical contracts, the day I quit was the day a woman thanked me for fixing her face, and I realized I couldn't remember what her original, perfectly unique face looked like. Our failure to make you perfect is actually our greatest success as it keeps the market hungry. So, what is the first thing you'll do with this new knowledge? Will you cancel your maintenance appointment? Will you look at your old photos and apologize to yourself? Or will you start noticing the scam in every clinic ad? 3, 2, 1. You'll do all of the above while holding your wallet tightly. You'll realize that your imperfections were actually just features that we couldn't figure out how to monetize yet. You were never the patient, you were the inventory. Send this to the person who is currently looking at before and after photos on their lunch break. If the consultant has a face that doesn't move when she laughs, run. Your insecurity wasn't a character flaw. It was a high-yield asset for a multi-billion-dollar industry that relies on your inability to see your own structural beauty. You aren't ugly. You're just a budget we haven't spent yet. Goodbye.